Do you smell that? It's the smell of a brand new calendar year. The time of the year where people are throwing out nostalgia and they are now getting new calendars and new journals for their brand new goals to be a brand new person in the year. They're signing up for the gym, and in like about 2 weeks, they're going to stop going. And today I want to be talking about a new series that I think will be really helpful for you as you are learning to become new person in Christ and what that looks like. And so we're going to do a new series called Lose the Weight: How to Drop the Hangups and Habits that are sabotaging your life. Now, the habits and hangups I think are really important because they might not look the way that we think that they do. And this series is really based off of Hebrews 12:1, which says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race that God has set before us." And when most people see that verse, they usually are looking at the sin portion of it, like let's lay aside every sin. They're like, oh, well, if I can just stop gossiping, or if I can stop arguing with my coworker, if I can stop going to this website. Although we want to lay aside sin, there's an even more deceptive thing waiting to trip us up, and that is weight. Because good things can become weights when we seek to run after Jesus and we have our eyes distracted. Good things like social media, which connects us to other people but can get us lost in a vortex. Good things like volunteering, which are good to get us outside of our comfort zone and being able to interact with other people. But how much does it actually fill up your entire schedule? Or family, which is good for our well being and our safety and our mental support. But like, how much do we tolerate unhealthy behavior? So today I want to talk about creating a fresh start and the power of endurance. Before we begin, though, my name is Mariah. I'm a certified Christian mental health coach, and I'm here to help you grow in emotional and spiritual maturity through biblically based holistic practices. What that all basically means is I'm here to help you have an emotionally authentic faith, how to live out your faith, being real to yourself, and obeying what God's word says. It's not easy, but that's part of the process. So if that's something that interests you, I actually have a free guide. You can click the link in my description, and it is a 3-day prayer journal that will help you grow in emotional maturity, working through your faith and your feelings. So I highly recommend that. You can also join me over on my Instagram page where we have conversations like this and more. Let's talk about defining endurance, because when we want to set out a goal, most people just quit. And we know that it takes time to build a new goal, and we know that it takes time for our habits to kick in. But even though we know all of these things, why do we still fail? Why does it still make us like, why do we still struggle? And I think it's because we don't have the right understanding of endurance and all that that entails. So let's define it. Endurance is defined as the fact or power of enduring an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving way. Creating new goals and new habits are a really good thing. But if we don't define the why for why we're doing what we're doing, then what happens is when we go and experience life and start putting those habits into practice, we trip up because we don't count the cost and recognize how difficult the process is going to be. A lot of times we don't think it's going to be a difficult process and we don't plan for it to be unpleasant. So when the unpleasantness does come up, our why we do what we do, why are we making this new decision, why are we going down this new path, becomes blown away by the wind because it's like it doesn't hold up. Now, goals don't have to be created just because you're doing something bad, like going to the gym because you overate, but goals are there to actually help improve your process, improve your life, so you have a future that you want. But the thing about goals is if we're not careful, we will be defined by the wrong things. And good things can become weights when we lose our focus. Most of us are focused on like really bad habits that we want to get out, like so overeating or staying up too late or different things that will cause us to possibly sin. We focus on those things. But we don't focus on things that are good, like volunteering and, being involved in community and things like that. Those are good things, but they can actually become weights. Certain friendships that we are enduring that maybe are not the best because they are unhealthy and we are allowing it to become a weight in our life. And if we lose our focus, those good things are good, but they're not great. They're not the best for us. And that is why Hebrews 12:1 reminds us that we need to keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, because when we fix our eyes on Jesus and we remember eternity, then the things that we're stressing and tripping up over do not have as much significance and power in our lives. So when we set our goals, we have to have the why in front of us. And really, that ultimate why is Jesus. But really, you want to define it even more. You want to define the goal of why to give you the power to endure, because we can start a goal, but the point is to finish it. And the Bible gives us different examples about endurance. James 1:12, Isaiah 40:31, 1 Corinthians 9:24, Philippians 3:13 through 14. There's a lot of great things about endurance, and endurance really helps build your character. It is a good thing when you're going through a trial because it tests your faith, it tests your character, it helps refine the parts of you that need to be refined. And it's a resolve to fight even when it gets hard. Most people, you hear about fair weather fans. So the fans only come out when the weather's nice. Well, a lot of people have fair weather faith. And when emotions get difficult and things start to come out, they abandon their faith because they think that somehow they're doing something wrong. But really, their faith is being refined and purified and tested. And if they don't have the why Jesus in front of them, then they're going to get tripped up and they're going to, get some scars along the way. And so if you've made it with me this far and you really are saying, okay, Mariah, I understand what you're telling me. I do want to endure. I want to grow my faith. I want to have healthy goals when it comes to my faith. What do I do next? Great. Glad you're along with me. Well, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to choose 2 or 3 goals. No more than 3. I know you want to choose like all the goals in the world. You're like, there's so much wrong with me. I don't even know where to begin. If that's the case, which we all have stuff that we are working through, so don't think you're that special. Love you, but don't think you're that special. We all got junk we're going through. Choose 2 to 3 goals, but write down everything you want to do. Write down every single part of it. You're like, I want to fix this, I want to fix this, I want to fix this, and just put it all on a list. And then walk away from it. And then come back and think, are any of these goals overlapping? And which ones are the priority for me? Because to successfully implement change, you have to be intentional and focused on the different goals that you have. And if you're trying to chase one thing over here and chase something over there and chase another thing over there, your head's going to be spinning and you're never going to get done what you want to get done. You're never going to become the person that you want to become. And you also have to be patient about it. It's not going to just happen overnight. That's okay. Part of building a goal and having a focus is once you've gotten that baseline down, you can now build upon it. But you can't do that if you're not defining what's important. And remember, what's urgent isn't always important, and what's important isn't always urgent. So sometimes the thing that's really loud in front of your face maybe isn't the thing that you actually need to focus on. Maybe it's the thing behind that that's driving the voice of urgency. And then I want you to prepare for setbacks. Don't be surprised when it gets difficult. It's going to get difficult. Any type of new goal, any type of desire to become more like Jesus and growing your life and getting rid of the hangups and the habits that you have that you know are not good for you is going to be challenging. You're going, 1, against your flesh. You're going, 2, against the ways of the world. And 3, you're going to have opposition because we are in a spiritual battle. So prepare that there will be setbacks, and don't live in the realm of perfection thinking that you're going to somehow like get everything right all the time and that it shows how strong you are in your faith. That's a lie. Okay? But when you prepare for the setbacks and you fall, because we will inevitably fall, we're not looking to fail, but we're human. When that happens, this is the next thing that I want you to do. Get back up. Wipe your face. Put on your big girl pants. Get back up. The Bible tells us that the righteous fall 7 times and they still get back up. Grace empowers you not to keep sinning or doing the wrong things or staying in the habits and hangups that are, you know, getting your eyes off of Jesus. But grace empowers you and says, you know what? Because of God's love for me, because I have experienced and know the goodness of God, I'm going to let that empower me so I can get back up and get back onto the path that God has for me, because I know that what He has for me is good and I am walking in that goodness and I'm fighting for that goodness. We look at this as a learning opportunity to lean more on the Spirit of God, and we walk with a limp, but we still walk. We still keep getting back. And that is a heart of endurance. As Eugene Peterson says, um, it's obedience in the long direction. That's the life of the Christian. Obedience in the long direction. We want these short, like 10-second snippets, but it is day in and day out of doing small things that will get you towards the goal that you want, because you need to have your eyes fixed on what it is that you want. But doing those small steps every single day, it is not sexy. It is not pretty. It is annoying. And you're like, why can't I just have, like, the highlight reel of that other person? Because you're not that other person. You have a different story. You have a different thing that God is trying to cultivate inside of you. And that is good and okay, because when you look back 10, 15 years from now, are you going to be happy that you made the decisions that you made now? Or are you going to regret it? And if you're not sure, look at the other people who have made those decisions and look where they are further in life. Because if you're only looking at your peers, you're not having perspective. You need to look at the people 10, 15 years ahead of you. What choices did they make at your age right now? And what choice will you make? That is up to you. And so I pray that this mental check-in as we start this new series will help you grow so that you can have the courage and strength to keep moving forward in the life that Jesus has for you. Thank you for joining me today. If you like this video, if this video is encouraging for you, you have some thoughts, you want to leave a comment below. Tell me what you've got going on. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. And we're going to continue our series in the next episode.